What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Misty Murray, litigation paralegal and founder of Arrow Consultants. And by the way, I also created the Microsoft 365 case management system. And speaking of, in today's video, I'm going to answer the question, Misty, how do you keep track of all of your SharePoint sites? The answer is building a communication site. So in today's video, I'm going to show you 3 methods to building a communication site. A communication site should serve as your team site. It's the starting point of every day. At least it is for me, and I hope it is for you. So if you're interested in the Microsoft 365 case management system, I do have a link in the description box below that will take you to the landing page for that e-course. The first module is absolutely free, so give it a try. If you like it, buy it, and it's yours for life. It is 4.5 hours or so of 12 lessons, all video tutorials teaching you step-by-step how to create that case management system that you always wanted and never knew you had at your fingertips. So without further ado, let's dive into things today. So like I said, a communication site should be the starting point to your day every day. Favorite it, bookmark it, do whatever you have to do to create that path of least resistance to make sure that you are landing on that communication page every day. That's your starting point for your case management system. The difference between a SharePoint site and a communication site is that a communication site is not being assigned an email address. There simply isn't a need for it. There are some differences, and we'll talk about those here in a minute, but a communication site similarly functions like a SharePoint site, also known as groups. SharePoint sites are known as groups. So some of the things the communication site doesn't have is it is not being assigned a team and it is not being assigned a plan. Now that's not to say that you can't independently create those things and connect it to your communication site, but it isn't exactly necessary. So let's head over to my computer where I will show you the 3 methods I use when building a communication site. You choose the method that works best for you. All right, let's go. Okay, so the first method we're going to explore today is using Microsoft Lists with your communication site. So let's head into my computer. When creating that communication site, you want to start from SharePoint right here. So click Create Site, and the right-hand pane will show up, giving you the opportunity to either create a team site or create a communication site. Now, the team sites that you create are the actual SharePoint sites dedicated to each of your clients, your categories, or your cases, and this is what gives you that email address. Now, the communication site, you should use it as your team site. You don't get an email address with it. You don't get a team. You don't get a planner. You can bring these things in, but we're going to go ahead and open up a communication site. So choose communication site. Go ahead and give this site a name. We'll go ahead and choose Demo Communication Site. Or for you, you can put Team Site. All right, so this is going to be our site address right here. And if we wanted to change that, we could by clicking this pencil right here and giving this a new site address. All right, so we're gonna leave this as site address. And I don't need to give it a description, but you can if you want to. Go ahead and select your language as English. Now take a look over here, and this is the sort of design that the communication site is going to give you. You have a couple of options here. You can choose from topic, you can choose showcase, or you can choose blank. Frankly, I like to choose the blank canvas so that I can bring into it exactly what I need to, and I don't have to delete anything out of here that I don't need. So let's go ahead and start from a blank canvas. And for all of these, we're going to go ahead and start with a blank canvas. So let's go ahead and click Finish. We'll let it work its magic, and there we go. We've got a completely blank canvas. You're going to use this as your team site. So here we go in creating that list for you to navigate easily to all of your SharePoint sites. we're going to go up here and create a new list. So up here on the left-hand side, we have new. We're going to click this little menu right here, and we have some options. We can bring in all of these things to our communication site. We want to bring in a list. Now, Microsoft Lists gives us many options when creating templates, if you will, and bringing these items in. And we don't need that. We just want to start from a blank list and go ahead and bring all of our SharePoints in manually. So click blank list. Let's call this case list. The description is general cases case list. Now I want to go ahead and show this in my site navigation. Site navigation is right up here under Demo Team Site. Now you can choose to not show this in your site navigation, and if you didn't want to do that, you would uncheck this box right here. But we're going to go ahead and show this in the site navigation. So click Create. Okay, so this gives us another blank canvas, a blank list, if you will. So you work with this just like you would work with any Microsoft list. The first column is going to be our actual SharePoint sites. So I'm going to actually rename this column. So I click this little icon right here, go down to column settings, rename, and tell it I want it to say case. So let's click save. Or you can choose SharePoint site if you want to. So let's go back to column settings, rename, and we'll say SharePoint site. All right, let's click save. Let's go ahead and add a couple of other columns here. I'm going to do a single line of text, and maybe you say type of case. And this is just the type of case. Single line of text, no default values here, no bells and whistles. Let's save. In addition to that, let's go ahead and create a hyperlink. So you can see that there are lots of options in here. Don't limit yourself. Go ahead and explore them, but don't limit yourself. If you choose yes or no, then you only get to put yes or no in that column. If you choose number, you can only put a number in that column. If you use single line of text, you can put anything in that column. So that's the most used column that I use. But let's go ahead and create a hyperlink. I want to create a hyperlink to the SharePoint sites so we can easily navigate to them. So let's say hyperlink to SP site. Description, hyperlink to SharePoint site. Right, type is still hyperlink, no more bells and whistles. Let's click save. All right, so we've got our column set here, and I'm actually going to choose to edit in grid view because it actually allows me to edit things just a little bit quicker. You can go ahead and click new and add things one by one. So let's take a look at what the difference is. If I click new, I can enter things in right here on this right-hand pane. And if I cancel out of here and I click edit in grid view instead, then you'll see that I get to edit this just like I would an Excel spreadsheet. And I really like doing that instead. So let's go ahead and edit this way. We'll say masterclass. And we'll say the type of masterclass case is, we'll say premise liability. And we want a hyperlink to the site. Let's go back and let's add in some other cases. Gonna click tab, enter for new item, put our cursor in there, and we'll say case 2. We'll say this is auto accident. And this is case 3, dog bite. Okay, so you get the general gist of how you're bringing things into this list. We still need some hyperlinks right in here. So I'm actually going to open SharePoint in a new tab. And I'm going to grab some hyperlinks to some other sites. So we've got masterclass right here. I'm going to grab the URL, copy, go back over to my list, and I'm going to just paste this hyperlink right in here. Now I can choose to display different text if I want to. And let's go ahead and say masterclass SP site. Click that check mark, and there you go, turned it into a hyperlink. So just for the sake of this tutorial, let's go ahead and put the same links in every one of these. Okay, so you get the gist. We're going to click Exit Grid View. All right, and there is our list. So let's go and navigate to the home page of the communication site right up here in our navigation menu. And as you see, we still have a blank canvas. We have this list, the case list right up here, but we want to bring them through to this home page and make this page a little bit more dynamic for your team. So to do that, we want to click Edit on the upper right-hand side. Now, if you've taken my masterclass or my e-course, then you pretty much know how to navigate in here. So let's go ahead and click this plus section to add a new web part. What I want to do here is add a list. Click list, and it gives me the option of case list because I just prepared that. So let's click on case list, and it brings it in right there. So I could bring in another section, let's say text, welcome to the team site. Let's make this bold. Let's make this centered. And maybe we give it a much bigger font size, and we change that section background right there. So let's republish. Okay, so we've got a really great start to our team communication site, and we have a list right here existing of our SharePoint sites, and we have a way to easily navigate to them. So this is our masterclass right here, and let's click this hyperlink, and it's going to take us right to that SharePoint site. So click the back button right here, and there you go. You can also export this list to Excel, so maybe you needed a list of all of your open cases. And this is a manual process here to create and maintain this case list. You can do so right in here in this view, or you can click See All up here on the upper right. If you needed to delete a case off of here, then just click that bubble, come up here and click Delete. There you go, navigate to your home page, and case number 3 is no longer on your active case list. So that is the way that you can add a case list onto a communication site, which allows you and your team to easily toggle between each of your SharePoint sites. So let's take a look at another way to create that list on your team communication site. And all we're going to use this time is just hyperlinks to each one of those sites. So we just went over lists, and now we're just going to go over hyperlinks. We'll take those hyperlinks a little bit further in method number 3. So let's look at how to create just those hyperlinks. Okay, so going back to our team communication site, I'm going to click Edit on this upper right-hand side. And I'm actually going to get rid of this list because we're going to bring in a whole new one. All right, and I'm going to come down here. And I'm going to add in text just like I did up here in Welcome to the Team site. So right here, I'm going to type Masterclass, Case 1, Case 2, case 3. All right, so we've just got some plain text right there. Let's give it a little bit more. Let's say general cases, case list. Bold, an underline, and maybe we make it a little bit bigger and we give it a different font color. All right, so that looks nice. All right, so let's go over masterclass and let's highlight masterclass. Now in this text, you'll notice that we have a little hyperlink button right here. So let's click this hyperlink. We're going to paste that URL for the masterclass. And because we highlighted the text, it is already saying the text you want to display is masterclass. That's exactly right. That's what we want to display. The option down here is really important. I would like you to check this box right here to open link in a new tab. This means that you are not navigating off of your communication site, your team site, whenever you need to open up a SharePoint site. This is my preferred option, is what I recommend that people do. It's great to work in lists. I love them. But working with hyperlinks like this, without it being in Microsoft Lists, allows us to stay in the team communication site and opens up Masterclass in a separate tab. So let's take a look at how that looks. Let's click Save, and you'll notice that it gives it a hyperlink right there. So let's go ahead and do the rest of these just really quick. Okay, I'm going to exit out of this table formatting pane, and I'm going to go ahead and republish my page. All right, so you'll see here we have a new look on our team site, and we have just this general list right here. But when we click on Masterclass, I'm actually going to get rid of this one right up here, but when we click on Masterclass, you see that it opens it up in a new tab. So we didn't actually navigate off of our team communication site. And for some, and especially for me, that's really important. I always want to have this tab open because my communication site is open every day, all day, to allow me to easily toggle between my cases. So that's the method of creating that case list in your team communication site by just bringing in the text and creating hyperlinks with them. But we can take that a step further if you just need it to be a little bit more visually pleasing by using tables. So let's take a look at what that looks like. Okay, so navigating back into our team site, let's click Edit again on the upper right-hand side. I'm going to get rid of all of the text that is in here. Masterclass case 1, 2, and 3. I'm not going to get rid of this title right here. I want to go ahead and keep it. I'm going to choose more options to open up this right-hand pane. And you'll notice right here it says Insert Table. So I can click Insert Table. And I can say cases, type, hyperlink. All right, so let's bold this right here and let's center these items. All right, let's say masterclass and premise liability. I'll say case 1, dog bite, case 2, auto crash. Okay, you get the gist. And you can move these the table here, just like you would in Excel. So move the table around as you need to see it. All right, so let's go ahead and leave it that way, and let's bring in those hyperlinks now. So all I want to do is click on this link, paste. I do want to change the text to display. I want to get rid of this and put Masterclass SP site. Open link in a new tab, save. Let's do it again for case 1. You get the gist. Okay, let's go ahead and republish this. All we did is add a table to that case list. So it's a little bit separated, perhaps it's a little bit more visually pleasing to you, but it functions the exact same way. So let's get rid of the tab up here for Masterclass, and let's click this. Bam, there you go. It opens up Masterclass in a separate tab so that you do not navigate off of your team communication site. Truly important. So that is another way that you keep track of all of your SharePoint sites. And of course, at any time, you can click edit. You can highlight all of this, click delete, and republish. You can move all of this stuff around on your team communication site. Perhaps you have a closed case list or you have multiple case lists. Create the team communication site that works best for you. But regardless, make sure that this team communication site is highly accessible to your entire team. And in order to do that, you should make this team communication site a featured link in your SharePoint application. In order to do that, you would go ahead and tap up here and copy that URL. The URL for your team communication site. Go ahead and click SharePoint right here, which is going to bring you back to the origin point of this application. And right over here on the left-hand pane, we have featured links. Go ahead and click edit, add a link. Text to display is team site, paste. I don't want to hide in SharePoint mobile app. I want to make this accessible in the SharePoint mobile app, so don't check this box. Let's click save. And we are done with the featured links. So now we have that team site right here. Let's take a look at that. Click on team site, and it navigates us right to our team site. So truly an efficient tool right here. So those are my 3 ways to building a great communication site where you can track all of your different SharePoint sites. You can easily toggle between your SharePoint sites using that communication site. So tell me in the description box below which method tickled your fancy the most. If you are interested in learning more about the Microsoft 365 case management system, then check out the link in the description box below, which will take you to the e-course. Now keep in mind the e-course is only available until February, the end of February 2021. After that, we're closing the course. So be sure to grab your copy of the e-course now. Once you buy it, you get the entire thing right away. You go through it as quickly or as slowly as you want to. It is not drip content. Thank you for joining me today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up because it really does help to support my channel. If you haven't already, consider subscribing and click that notification bell below so that you receive a notification of each time I post a video on here. Have a wonderful rest of your day, a weekend ahead of you, and I will see you guys back here on the next one. Bye guys.